We're live. We're not dead. So, okay, people, you're looking at real people that are talking and alive. So, interesting day. We got a lot to get into. I'm going to let Tina say hello and introduce herself before we get into this hardcore stuff. Greetings, Tina. Hi, Tina.
Greetings and hello, Tommy. How you doing? First off, let me one in the States and everyone else watching this, and especially Tommy in Hawaii, whose birthday was last week. So congratulations on that. I have sent Tommy a card to Hawaii, but he has not received that yet. I'm sure when he does, he will show us that. And yeah, so I think this might be our last show before Christmas. We'll see about next week. Depends on my work schedule, but we would definitely be back in the new year. We have a few topics this week. To it, and then we can get on with everything else. Through this, you will see me and Tommy. Hello, Brandy. You will see me and Tommy fade out in the UK. We're having problems with
Oh, this doesn't sound good.
So the British Army have gone there. Stuck in Scotland phones and so my today Tommy's usually the Sasquatch or the Bigfoot person, but I came across an article today. I'm just going to read it out so you know. It's from the Courier Mail in Australia, from a town in Queensland, I believe. And it was published today, or 2 days ago, I believe, on Microsoft on the internet. And 3 men, from what I can gather, were working in the far outback in a remote region in Australia near Queensland. When they went back into Queensland town in this outback town, it was obviously evening or night time. And they were driving into the town or coming into town. And one of the street lamps on the edge of this little town was reflecting a black shadow. They thought it was some kind of type of wild boar or animal. And as they got closer, they realised how huge this thing was. They said it was estimated to be about 6'11", nearly 7 foot tall. And when it moved like an ape. So all 3 men saw this. It's not like Australians to report Bigfoot, but they said because it's such a remote region, it was newsworthy. But 3 men reported it. They all saw it, and they've all described it, and their story is out there. So there's an actual life up-to-date story of Bigfoot still alive and well in Australia. The other thing that caught my eye this week was in the space station, whether they were doing, I think it's a space station, I'm sure it was. They accidentally created a warp bubble in or near or around the space station. So that was something to look at. And also the hut on the moon, China has reportedly taken a picture of it's going to take about 3 weeks to get to. This was published about a week ago, I believe. There's been some chatter on there, and they've said it's been some type of picture taken by the rover on the moon. So we shall know more in about 3 weeks when their rover arrives at that location. Other news as well. Omicron came to the UK very quickly, about 3 weeks ago, just under 3 weeks, or about 3 weeks ago. And it was reported a couple of days ago that we already have deaths of Omicron here in the UK. And there was a parliamentary meeting on COVID restrictions. We've gone back to level 4. It's not lockdown. We have to wear masks in public. We have to have COVID passports and a negative test to say that we don't have COVID. If you want to go to a large venue, and other restrictions are in place. In Scotland, they not to meet more than three groups of people outside of your home, and they have tighter, stringent controls than England. Sorry, I do apologise. So more will be out about that. We have deaths here, and they're saying that percent chance of coverage, you need the booster to have more, and obviously a different type. So I've had 2 AstraZeneca and 1 Pfizer, so I've had 3 vaccinations. Another piece of news I came across, well, on that subject, is that they had 11 African countries, no flights in or out, which they lifted all restrictions today from tonight. So I don't see what the point was in putting them in the country. If they would have imposed strict restrictions like a year or 2 years ago, even Africa wouldn't have had, I don't think personally, a way to get it into their country. Because if they stop global transmission, global movement just for 6 months or a year, no country would have had a variant and it would have burnt out. But those poor people in Africa now are out there really on their own with no help, or the help they're getting from their countries. So, every country in the world is suffering, and but they've allowed flights to and from the country back to the UK. The other piece of news was about the new American team that was put together by the federal government Department of Defense UFO group, and saying that they've been very quiet since they've all build team together, but there's been no disclosure to the public yet of anything, first reports coming out. So apart from that, there's not a lot else really on just hot topic news this week. There have been some reports of UFOs and more sightings, and again the Cumbroveri volcano, I think it's been 80-something days now, it's been continually erupting, and we've had volcanic eruptions around the world, which is not really good for mankind or the world, because it all throws up kind of stuff into the atmosphere and stratosphere. So again, we do have internet connection, so I do apologize if you can't get through or onto the show, or if we keep glitching. There's really not a lot we can do about that. Again, we've had some problems here in the UK with TV coverage, internet coverage, which is why you've been getting flickering from me and Tommy. I know Tommy's had it a while, but we're having problems here in the UK. So, but if you'd like to come onto the show tonight, Randy, if you have any questions for me and Tommy, if you have any questions or answers from previous show, please come on. If you'd like to ask me or Tommy a question, or if you'd like to tell us your story, please come. Tommy will ask you loads of questions about that. Over back to Tommy when he appears on my screen. Tommy.
All right. There's 2 ways I'm going to go today. But the first way I want to go into about lies. All right. In the UFO world, there's thousands of stories out there. A lot of speakers coming out with more and more stories. But here's the thing, people. All the stories they gave us are not coming true, not proving anything, not releasing anything beneficial to us. Now, I'm going to go into a couple names. Alex Collier, I knew him a really long time. He was one of the first people to talk about the Andromedans and said he worked with them and all those kind of things. He never had any kind of proof of that, except the government's been chasing him. He couldn't keep a job. He was living with my friend for a year, him and his daughter, but they keep harassing him. But anything he said about aliens never came true. He prophesied a lot of things that are going to happen in history, in our time frame, which is coming true. But about the Andromedans coming here, being with us and all that, none of that has happened. All right. And he's a really big name. If you pull it up, he was one of the biggest speakers in 96. All right. And now I'm going to move on to another name, Mr. Corey Good. He says he works with the Blue Race. He said they showed him videos of what's going to happen. He talked about doomsday and all that stuff. Do you see any of that happening yet? He talked about a lot of things. All right. I mean, he's a great comic book writer, I guess, because he's putting out another comic book. But here's the thing. Truth is important right now, people. And you need to find whatever you can and hold on to it and analyze it and make sure you accept it. And if you do, make it part of your belief system. I'm not talking about the lies out there. because there's just too many of them. Now, this other name that you need to pull up, who's making tons of money, and his name's Major Ed Dames. He's one of the biggest doomsday people on the planet. He does these incredible giant workshops every year. Every year he says, this is going to be it. This is the last year. And then he does another one the next year as well. But he says you got a remote view to see where you need to be when the world gets destroyed. But again, he's another person putting a lot of stories out there. All right. Now, I'm trying to tell you, you need to find your niche in your life, why you're here, what you're doing, and what you want to achieve before you leave. Do you want to see UFO? Is that your main goal? I hope not. I hope you have other things that you feel are important. But realize this world is pretty on a verge of extinction. Aliens know that. People are starting to see it. But when and how soon? We have the UN Agenda 21 coming in full force. We're already at phase 4 of it. Pull that up. You need to know what it has to do with aliens and what this all has to do with the planet. It's very constructive ideas that you need to follow, look at, and understand. Because we have people like, and I'm going to say her name, and I'm totally ready to do a debate with her anytime, begging her to come on. She was begging for people to send out her videos and UFO pictures because she's putting a new movie out. She was on the person from Coast to Coast last night. I listened to her and I listened to him. I guess they were together for the weekend and then they did the show last night. She claims a lot of things. She can claim she could levitate things. She claims she could change DNA. In other words, she's saying she's God. Or, well, maybe she's not admitting it to other people, but that's what she's actually saying. Now, on top of that, her last movie, watch it. I want you to, because see where she's coming from. She's making the whole UFO world sound incredible among us. All right, her new movie comes out in, I think, 2 months, and she's going to release some information. But here's the thing she was talking about last night. If we raise our vibration, we all can talk to angels and aliens. All right, think about that. When was the last time you ever wanted to talk to an alien? What would you want them to tell you? What do you think they could tell you? The last time you talked to an angel?
Not by choice.
Well, I'll let Tina talk about that in a second. But okay, the only actual documented story that was angels are not teachers. All right, they don't come here to teach people. Now, one person said they did, and that person's name is Muhammad. He met with Gabriel, and his brother told him he was working with Gabriel. How did his brother know that? All right, I look, I know that's a great story, but if you read what Gabriel, the angel, taught to Muhammad, it all contradicts each other. So if an angel would come down here to talk to us, to teach us something that contradicts, well, I want you to talk to all people. Oh, no, be quiet. Don't talk to many people. Every other sentence is contradictory to whatever the sentence before it says. And he claims he was working with an angel. Angels are not teachers. Anywhere in history, in the Bible, they came down to give us a warning. And they gave us the warning. They didn't come here to sit down and start teaching people, which people don't realize. I mean, everybody feels they're protected by angels, which is whatever. You could believe what you want. But again, I'm trying to bring that out to a point where aliens can take on a form of whatever they want as well as demons can. So we're dealing with multiple things right now.
Thomas,
Not all.
You got a question in your chat room?
No, that's not Telequat. That's his original girlfriend. They were together for 2 years before he met Telequat. All right. She was incredible. She has her story as well. But again, all right. I put that up there because basically we were out there in 1996, telling the stories of truth, not lies. We released hundreds of pictures then all the way up into 2002 of UFOs, entities, creatures, and nobody ever made anything big about it. We filmed more ships than anybody in the United States, period. And nobody came down on us. Nobody attacked us. We met two people from, 4 people from Men in Black. We had dinner with them. I met somebody from MJ12. I mean, we were working with him, trying to get some things from him as well. So a lot was going down. Sargel came into a lot of money. He disappeared. He attacked me the last day and then don't ever call me, blah, blah, blah. And that was it. But he came into a lot of money. All right. He always told me years ago, if the government ever gave him money, he would pull away from the whole UFO thing. He was a psychic reader for the government. He was a black magician. So we went all through that together. We worked it out here and there. But finally, like I said, he disappeared now for over a year. And there's no communication between him and me, or there probably never will be again. I'm not saying he's my friend. I always consider him my friend. He always considered me his enemy here and there. We went to a conference and I talked to these people that everybody said were aliens, and he had a big fight with me. So he gets upset about a lot of things. My friend Sean David Morton just got out of jail. And when I mentioned Sean David Morton, that was the last time Sargel said a word to me. He blames him for a lot of things. So yeah, there's a lot went down. But Sargel 18 and I filmed many more creatures, entities, things than anybody else in the United States. He sent a video of an alien to another country, to a museum, and they were supposed to buy it for $1 million. They decided they didn't want it, but they had to pay him $50,000 because they did borrow the film. But again, these people in the UFO world have zero proof, and they go on with these great stories, and they're telling us these incredible things are going to happen. Do you see them happening? Do you think it helped anybody in the Egyptian time frame? The Mayans, the Aztecs, did it help any of them? Or working with aliens, did it help them? And now Caroline wants to talk to aliens. I said, tell me when they tell you something important. And she was going on about technology. I said, technology has nothing to do with spiritualism.
What questions does she want to ask them, Tommy? So when someone wants to talk to an alien, apart from understanding and like actually physically speaking to them, what is it she wants to gain from them? What is it she thinks they're actually going to voluntarily tell her?
That's the delusion.
Tell me. I want to know now.
See, that's what I said. When they tell you something important. Now, I said, what I know for a fact, Tesla worked with an alien race. He was given 50 dangerous weapons, which are on. Oh, you're still here? I thought you were gone. Sorry. So I thought, okay, sorry about that. But yeah, see, she thinks that talking to aliens is going to be beneficial for some reason. But when I said that we've been there, we have that story. I mean, all the people that are abducted, and you're one of the main people that we could talk about it. What beneficial thing could they offer us? Weapons and technology. And that's all they can offer us because they want something in return. And the government's not going to release that. The UFO people don't want to talk about that either. They don't talk about Phil Snyder much, do they? They don't talk about John Ford, who's in the nut house in Long Island right now, who shot the best video of a ship crash. Seriously. So here's the thing. All these people, like I told you, I've been trying to get in touch with somebody else, main speaker in the UFO world right now. 3 months. Wrote letters to him. Not one reply. And he goes, I'll talk to people. I'm honest. I want to. And he never returned his call. I wonder why. I know he said he's still working for the government. All right. So he can't go into too much. I mean, he's saying, well, Tic Tacs can't be. They have to be. And I mean, okay, we don't need to be talking about Tic Tacs. You see ships. I see ships. I film ships. It's not about a Tic Tac anymore. They're here now. They're on the planet. We need to talk about reality. What's going to happen? Who's controlling these rich people? Why are we going into UN Agenda 21? All these things, there's a reason behind it all. If you believe the UFO people, the Anunnaki made us slaves. I mean, guess what? They don't need slaves. And right now we're moving into robots. They're not going to need people.
You got a question in your comments box.
Okay. I don't know what nut house it is. I was going to see him when I was told by. This is real. I'm not making this up, people. I was told by FEMA that if I go to see him, they will kill my family. All right. These UFO people who have been trying to get in touch with him, one person stays in touch with him. Robert Morningstar. No, sorry, wrong person. Peter Moon. He talks to him like almost every month. And we have workshops on the internet once in a while about him, and we talk about it. All right. Nobody will help him. Nobody will be willing to go near him. And his story is incredibly crazy. They put him in jail because they said he had a barrel of uranium and he was going to kill Congress. He was going to take uranium and put it in their toothpaste and thank you, happy birthday, thank you, and kill people in Congress. Really? It was all over New Jersey and New York news when they arrested him. It was the week after Sargel and I did Strange Universe. They took that show off the air, and then they arrested him as well. All right. But I saw the video. There's 4 videos he shipped around the world. They're under lock and key. If he dies, they get released. But that was since 1997. He should have just released it. He wouldn't be in jail. He wouldn't have been going through what he's going through right now.
Sorry to cut you off again, Tommy. What people don't understand is I'm going to go back about it now, about contact and what these aliens are trying to say to people, and like this new government department in America about how they're looking at UFOs friendly. They would take a more friendly approach. Yes, they're more technologically advanced from us. Therefore, they would make allowances. They would figure out a way to contact us. They would figure out a strategy or the friendliest or most easiest way for us to communicate with them being more technologically advanced. It's not been made public to anybody. So it's either not happened or it happened many, 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 many decades ago. And then people millions of times. They don't speak like me and you verbally from the mouth. They just speak from mind to mind telepathy, if that's what you want to call it, or a biological Wi-Fi. So these connections, probably not everyone might be able to get the phone call. Not biologically compatible, but it's only if they have to. There's lots of things that I've seen that I've not probably been supposed to have been privy to or supposed to have seen myself. Either they've given me something that not work or I've been allergic to, I don't know. But I've seen things up there that I know I'm not supposed to have seen, and been in their links and heard and seen things in their link that I'm not supposed to have seen. So it can and does happen. So contact has happened, and things you want to know has happened. So where do you think that leaves all these good aliens now? Where is all these good intentions? The first thing you want to do with a new species is it intelligent? Can we communicate? Can we help it? What environment does it live in? It's been doing this for many, many, many years, millions, thousands, hundreds of thousands of years, and not just on one continent, across the whole continent. And yes, perhaps they've been doing it with other species, other mammals, other animals, other insects. We are so full of our human selves. They should contact us because we're the most, we may not be compatible. They may be contacting insects. They just think because we speak, animals can, communicate very differently to human beings. People need to allow that. I do apologise, Richie, about my stream is bad. Again, I'm just going to reiterate, since we've had storms here in the UK, hundreds and thousands of people in Scotland haven't had electricity for about 4 weeks, and it's been snowing in Scotland. So the British Army have had to go there to do welfare checks and have had to go door to door. But it's knocked out power lines. It's not snowing down in Southampton. It's about 12 degrees during the day at the moment, but in Scotland it's been snowing up there since the storm. We did have a little snow for a day or two, but we've had problems with TV connections, cable connections, internet, telephones, and mobile phone connections. So I do apologise. So you will get, the streaming has been very, very bad here in Southampton, especially in the southern part, whether that's due in part to the solar storms apparently we've been having, but I haven't seen any evidence of that, but I don't suppose we will. But as far as I'm aware, it's been the damage down to the storm. How long it's going to take to fix, I have no idea. For people tonight, I can only apologise until the government can get it fixed. People's lives in danger. When people
really sorry, Tina. You're breaking up so bad.
Food, electricity, or warmth. So, yeah, I do apologise, Tommy. You're right, Tommy.
I don't know if people can hear much of what you're saying. I'm here, but I don't know if they can hear much of what you're saying. People, I don't know if it's going to come out when you watch it back. If it's recorded, it might be better. I don't know. Probably not. I'm really sorry. There's nothing I can do about it right now. I know AT&T's having problems in Hawaii right now with phones. I keep getting cut off. For the past week, we had a major storm hit and things like that. So, yeah, we're dealing with things like the United States, the rest of the mainland, I mean, with storms and really bad things. Now, people, not to get off the UFO thing too much, but the weather is so bad around the planet. It's changing so bad. Do you realize it was created by man and aliens, not God, spirit, or the universal consciousness? We're playing with too many weapons right now around the world. They're using directed energy weapons in the United States on themselves. I mean, how ridiculous can you get? I mean, Hawaii tests bombs on the mountains here.
I mean, that just goes to show you man's intelligence. That is.
What do they have? Do they have intelligence? Is that a real word for people?
I think they do.
Intelligent? So.
And just to answer Richie's question, yes, they did plough the roads. Sorry, they did plough the roads. But I don't know if you know about the topography and geography of Scotland. It's in the Highlands, and they have these very towns, smalls, and villages that people sometimes inaccessible to get to. But they're like big, small cities, these very small villages, but they have thousands of people living there. And when the power lines are down in mountainous areas, it takes a very long time to find out what's wrong and where to connect them. So, but a few weeks in snow and cold weather, some people were actually trapped in a pub for a few days. So they all banded together and made coal fires and had food and obviously drink, which is a good time. But people that are a bit further out that couldn't leave their homes or are snowed in up there, or the weather, with mountain ice and floods. So they have a lot to contend with. So the British Army was deployed to do health checks door to door. We haven't had any update, and that was a few days ago. So, sorry, Tommy.
So here's the thing. What I was getting to about what was going on with all these speakers out there. Name another. I can't say his name right. Cavalacius George. He's from Australia. He was really big for a couple of years. He went out to the East City Ranch with James Gillen. I warned him about going out there. I really did. When he did like a 3-day workshop online, the two of them. He changed after he went out there. James Gillen says he's working with all the good aliens and everything else. Another person that's a love and light person. All right. He has people come out there to see UFOs. He takes whatever they take, whatever pictures they take are his because it's on his property. So it's a pretty weird thing. But he claims so many things. He had one of my teachers come out there and took some of his pictures and pretended that he took them. Kunlun.
Hold on, Tommy. Just give a shout out to a viewer in Russia, Tommy.
Oh,
we have a viewer from Russia. I'd just like to say hello.
Greetings.
So to hello, whoever's watching from Russia.
Well, it's a pleasure.
People from Russia watch our show. If you have any questions, let Tommy know, or me. Tommy.
We're having trouble with the internet today. Tina's country is having waveform problems or whatever. She's breaking up a lot. I'm really sorry about that. There's not much we can do about that right now. But greetings. If you have a question, just stick it up there or come on, whatever you want. But here's the thing. What I was trying to say is George Kavalauskas came out in 2010. I'm trying to think what year he came out, really big. And he was working with aliens. And then he said the following year, within 2 years, the world's going to be mostly destroyed. Again, these people come up with these dates and say what's going to happen. And everybody's condemning the world. It's condemned. But, hell doesn't burn out. It keeps burning. All right. To say that it's going to just disappear. No. I always wondered, when the world gets destroyed, do the good people leave or do the good people stay here and the bad people leave? And I came to the conclusion the bad people stay here. Go ahead.
I don't know about that. From what I did a talk and a lecture that one of my last ones I did was at HUFOG, Hampshire UFO Group. Did one in Birmingham and one further up north. Anyway, I told them back, my last one was 2008, just before the pandemic, 18-19. And I said to them, 2019, I think it was November, December. And I said to them, somebody asked me that question. And I said, about the end of the world, what do they show you? And what about mankind? What have they showed you? What happens to us? Because I said about going up and down in the bubble. And I said that they showed me horrific grey kind of explosion, mankind. There was nothing left of these fires. We were all kind of, we were screwed. It's starting now in 2019. It was December 2019. And I said, whatever it is starting now. I said, they showed me images of a war that would take place, which will be everywhere. Mankind was starting now. That's what they showed me. We had the pandemic that's come and gone. No one can predict that, but it was in papers years ago, 2012 or 13. It said there would be a pandemic in 10 years, and there was. But what they showed me years ago was that there would be a war between 2022 and 2024, culminating in a huge loss of life. If we keep going the way we're going. And the pandemic obviously has not helped, but whatever it is, they show you these pictures of disaster, of how the world's going to end. Now, it might not end like that, but these are visions, these beings are showing abductees, showed me. I'm just telling you what they described and showed to me. It was horrific. So it's nothing to look forward to.
Well, I've been in this realm all my life with psychics and aliens and UFO people and all that. I met just about all of them. Michael Scallion was the top psychic until 1995. After that, he wrote the maps of how the world's going to look after the world's destroyed. Half the United States is going to be taken out. And he drew all these maps. But another psychic, one of the oldest psychics on the planet, lady, gave her prophecies. She was right on about everything. But she said in 2014, we were going to have World War III. And Germany was going to help rebuild the United States. She was completely wrong. All right. When Corey Good said the aliens said the destruction's coming, when Kavalauskas said the destruction's coming, it's not coming, people. Satan is in control of this world. You don't have to believe me, people. but his army is feeding people the negativity that we're creating and growing with. We're not doing one thing constructive. Going to Mars is not constructive. Going to the moon is not constructive. And we got two people controlling everything, Musk and Gates. And people, he's going to get the, no, what do you call it? The Man of the Year reward for what? We're delusional. We're putting faith and hope in the wrong
Sorry,
people.
Tommy. Human beings do not know enough about our own world, our own culture. I mean, a lot of oral stories from the Egyptians, from nomads, like the pre-Diluvian flood, and people like that are probably true. People think they're myths because they're so fantastical and so old. They just think that they're made up stories. We don't know enough about human souls, biology, where we're from, our place in the universe, and yet we're just chucking it out there like toddlers. You want to go to a planet Mars? It's ionized. What ionized that planet? They found nuclear radiation from bombs going off, from nuclear weapon signature on Mars, and yet you're sending human beings into a war zone, a previous war zone. So we don't know what's happened on that planet. We don't know enough about it. Yes, we've gone there to find out why. Well, and I'm sure we've obviously manned that planet a long time before, and we've probably been there many times before. We, I think, to be, to start populating other planets. I think it would, Tommy.
All right. I'm just trying to put some message in here about the different teachings that came out. I mean, Jesus' teachings, Buddha's teachings, Muhammad's teachings. I can only say what I know for truth for me, which resonates with this life that I'm in, all my other lifetimes that I had. There were very few spiritual people on this planet ever. The Egyptians had no clue to spiritual truth. They were working with aliens. The Mayans also worked with aliens. None of them had any connection to a higher entity. Now, going back to Hinduism, the first religion on the planet, they were working with deities. I say deities are little gods. And in the different realms, when you get to travel in them, when you leave the lower realms, you'll see their place and what they do. They're gods of the realm that they're in. I mean, even Jehovah was a god of this lower realm. But he's in the realm with Buddha. Not Buddha, sorry. With Jehovah. Jehovah is in the realm with Lucifer, sorry, wrong name, and Satnam. So there are three rulers that stay on top of the astral plane that control what souls go past them. So, I mean, very few people want to get into that or understand it. All right, deities,
So
I call them little gods.
Not that I diss religion. I love religious history, but every religion, not just one. I think lots of different religions and even past religions that are burnt out can still offer a glimpse into people's and mankind's past. So people should be just a human being. Didn't realize it at the time, but what if a human being had two souls? And one soul was taken out, something or someone realized that there was two souls in a human body and they took one out. How would you know that? And what soul would be left in you, and what would that expiration date be? Because if everyone's born and has an expiration date of next year, but you were accidentally born with two souls in the same body, what expiration date would you go for? What and where does that leave the body that both vessels were in, both souls were in? There's lots of questions out there that I'd like to be answered. Things I don't know about. I don't know. I just like to, these things pop into my mind and I just want answers to those questions. But if anyone has an answer to that question, would be great. And also, while we're on the subject of things like that, Tommy was mentioning ranches earlier. That one time I'm not sure who's that last comment from. You got a comment from.
Uh,
I'd like
if
to
you
go.
want, you could come on. I'm trying to read the questions and think at the same time, which doesn't go
Yeah,
too good in my brain.
let's start
But
all over. I'd
you
like to
put Ottoman. Ottoman. I'm not ringing true to who and what it was, what it is, because there's so many different things. I know the one creature from the ocean, the river. I mean, are you talking about that? Are you talking about something totally different? I don't know what you're talking about. Just put another hint of what you're talking about, if it's an alien or what, because there's multiple things that I relate to that word. Because I know they were talking about this one creature and they gave him the name the Ottoman. Uh, so I don't know if that's what you're talking about, but there's aliens here right now, and none of them are good. And then we got like Caroline telling everybody how good they are. We're going to clone. People say they're going to donate their ovaries and get impregnated by aliens. Well, I'm not
It's an
too much
Inuit
into
legend.
legends.
I never heard.
There's so many, but I watched one channel that show you all the legends back to the beginning of time. Greetings, hey, you're back, you're on. Uh, the legends go back so far, and realize even Native history, and I'm sorry to say this, is legends of stories that are so far from mainstream truth. Sorry, people, when you believe things that are outside the idea of a human being, you're already going into the alien world, and people don't even understand one alien. So, how do you describe an alien teaching? The Anunnaki story, Zachariah Sitchin created it. I mean, he created the idea detailed of what they were, why they came here, what they did to us, and all that baloney, how they created us. It's all lies. All right. I base my life on my past life experiences and all my past lives. All right. I'm aware of all my lifetimes back to Atlantis and even one before that. I was an alien before I came to planet Earth. All right. And most people were. All right. You're woman a frog, you're woman a turtle. You don't have to be those things. I mean, if that's your desire, like the Hindu people, some of them, if they thought of a frog when they died, they come back as a frog. If they thought of a bird, they come back as a bird. Well, then I guess the only thing you should do is walk around thinking about God so that when you die, you don't come back as an animal or a creature. But the first religion on the planet was dealing with animals. So when aliens came down, which was after deities, all right, let me just say that. Deities were here for a period of time and they left. Go ahead, Tina. Sorry.
Sorry, I only want to interject. I watched Skinwalker Ranch episode on telly the other day. I don't get to watch a lot of TV lately because of my work and that have you. But I watched Skinwalker Ranch, and what you just said about animals and deities. Now, I'm not sure what season it was, and they've got that professor or scientist Travis, someone on it. I'm very enthralled. Very good stuff. He takes a scientific approach on it. I'd love, and by the way, while we're on it, if anyone would like to buy me a ticket or invite me to go to Skinwalker Ranch, I'd go. I'd go because they have been spotting UFOs. They've been having it on footage. There's scientific evidences of it appearing above ranches. Hold on, but it's been affecting the animals. The animals, they found a dead animal in the field, and when these things appear, or just before they appear, the animals have been running in the opposite direction, and they've been scared. So when these animals, like the animal Lincoln deities, pick up this, they know better than.
Let me cut you off there, Tina. Tina, let me cut you off there. Bigelow sold the ranch. All right. My friend went out to the Skinwalker Ranch. He was trying to buy his videos of ships in space. Bigelow wanted to buy everything pertaining to UFOs. He bought out MUFON. He took all their videos and everything they had up into a certain time frame. All right. When he sold the ranch, he gave it to a millionaire guy who had 2 years. They just finished doing their second year of research on that ranch. Nothing important happened there. One of the animals were mutilated. They saw 2 UFOs while they were there. They found that the field's radioactive. The one guy almost died by some kind of contamination. You want to go somewhere that's hot and heavy, filled with UFOs, creatures, entities. Go to my ex-friend
they can
John
bring
Edmonds
their
ranch.
phone down.
Wait. No, wait. Go to my ex-friend's ranch. The Skinwalker Ranch is nothing compared to the Stardust Ranch. The reason why the Stardust Ranch is 1/10 the size, and everything's happening on it. All right. You want to see aliens, you want to see creatures, you want to see beams of light crashing into the ground. It all's happening all the time.
I want to test how good they're scientific because they have all this science stuff at the moment, and they've been sending helicopters up in balloons, and they said that when they send it up on a certain frequency, UFOs respond to it. I thought perhaps if they had a genuine abductee who had actually had a connection in their link and spoken with different types of beings, whether an abductee being on that ranch would ping their radar. I'd love to go there and test that theory. And just where you're in the tinfoil hat wear, the reason I'm not smiling so much is because a few weeks ago I lost another tooth.
Well, Tina,
it doesn't look very pretty, and that's why I'm not smiling so much. So I do apologize.
The Skinwalker Ranch, it's not like an open place for everybody to go. All right. Yeah. The reason why I'll say the Stardust Ranch, he will take people there. He has 19 horses. He needs to feed them. He needs money. And if you give him a couple dollars to stay there, he'll let you stay there. All right. I brought Kerry Cassidy out there. She filmed the ship over his house when she came out that night. She was run off the road 3 times coming there. All right. So it's 10 times hotter.
Guys,
wait, Tina, listen. Bigelow wanted to buy his ranch.
No, it's not about the actual ranch itself. It's about, I can say to a scientist, bring your UFO gear here to my house, set up in the garden, and you can see what you want. You haven't got to wait and say, you go up there and on any given night and you'll see something in the sky. Don't just take my word for it. Come to Southampton, sit down with a telescope anywhere you want and just look up in the sky and you'll see the damn things. You'll see them pretty close as well, so you won't need a lot of scientific evidence. All these evidence and cameras there watching for UFOs. I'd love to go there and say, hold on, you can see this in Southampton for free. Let me sit my ass down there and see if we can see something.
Well, let me say this, Tina.
Where you go?
You know, you're into the Stardust Ranch. All right. But the Skinwalker Ranch, I meant. The Stardust Ranch, I was friends with John for years. I asked him and begged him to come out. I brought him out of his cocoon. He wasn't going to go public ever. I brought him out. I was working with him until certain things happened when I had to end my friendship with him. But he wouldn't let me get rid of the entities on his farm. I brought a high medicine woman out there with me. We healed his wife. She was possessed. He has the picture. This demon entity over his wife. Crystal clear. All right. He has it. I didn't realize she gave it to him because I wanted a copy of it. She says, I can't. I gave him those pictures. Everything she shot out there, she gave to him, and he has the copyrights for it, including the aliens we were next to. I brought her out, and I brought this camera guy out with me. He had a $30,000 camera and was bragging. So I brought him out there. This alien came up to us, and he couldn't get the camera to work. But it's an incredible place. Anybody that goes there and stays there for a few days usually leaves because they're afraid to stay there at nighttime. His wife used to be abducted. He handcuffs his wife to the bed so she can't take it. Well, I'm serious. He has guns in all his rooms. The most bizarre story ever. But like I said, I was friends with him a couple years. I told him he needs to write a book. I told him how to get protection. He never did anything I told him. All right.
And he was
no, last year he said he went to the hospital because aliens hurt him. So he's one of the few people that admit that or say that. So again, I ended my friendship with him.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Stop. No, I've got to show you this. You know, you just said your camera doesn't work. The other night, when I let my dog out, she comes and wakes us up, and we feed her every 2 hours because she's very old, but she has a lot of tummy problems, so we have to keep her. Sorry for being rude this whole program, everybody. I've been so excited today. What it is, I went outside with my phone. I always take my phone with me now if I'm going outside, and just to capture things, because people don't believe it. That's fine. Now this huge red thing, it looked like a pulsing light above the clouds, and it seemed to have a clear bit of a clear sky. You could see straight up the clear sky. This thing was like a a plectrum for a guitar, like a triangle, but it was so quick, and it had a huge red pulse that went across it. Now I got my phone out as quick as I could, and I was taking picture after picture, and it didn't capture a damn thing. So hold on. But after all the blankness went, all the blank pictures, I zoomed in on every picture to see if I captured something. And there's the pictures that didn't get nothing. But then, see, there's two lights at the bottom. There's one there and one just there. You probably can't see that where my finger is. So I zoomed them in, and that's what I captured. And there. So that's what I captured. It was like, but that wasn't what I saw. I saw this red thing flashing through the sky, and that's what I captured. So anyone with a better, and that's just on my mobile phone. So if anyone had a better piece of equipment, all I had was my mobile phone, which was this, and I just took these pictures and zoomed them in. It was like a triangle kind of thing, and it had a red pulse. I didn't see any of these white lights. I thought this picture was blank until I zoomed in. So you can see lots of things here in the UK. Don't need to go to Skinwalker Ranch, but I wouldn't mind going and having a look and being invited. So, but yeah, so I do carry my phone about with me specifically for that. But Tommy's right. You can record and it will record nothing. You can see stuff out there. You only pick up certain things. Tommy, I do apologise for cutting you off as well.
The big person they brought to, the big name person they brought to the Skinwalker Ranch was, guess who? Linda Moulton Howe. All right. And she had nothing to say, nothing to prove, and couldn't do a thing. They had a mutilation, and she's been in it for 40 years. 40 years, and she has zero proof of what's really going on. I saw it happen 3 times where I was staying out in Oregon. I mean, I saw an animal that was abducted. I saw the ship, hit it with a beam. I went out there, it was dead, had 2 holes in its neck, and then it was gone. And it happened 3 times in a month. All right. For her to eat, she can't even admit that a UFO is really doing it. I have a friend, when I was lecturing years ago with Sergeant Team, a woman that was actually going around the world filming crop circles. She traveled from one place to another. She used to get a free ticket and go there and sleep inside these places and filmed inside a crop circle being made. So, you know, there's people that have truth. They're the people you need to talk to, not the people that heard somebody say something and then tell that story like it's real. Like I said, I'm going to try to bring Eugene Braxton on. He was friends with Benny Hill, and he was young, but his family were good friends with them. So, you know, I deal with people.
Catherine Meriden, I've got a picture of me and how I spoke with her.
Well, you know, see, I was in the UFO world from 96 to 2002. All right. Bob Dean was probably the most important speaker out of them all. And he died. We were good friends with him. And I got close to him. Fred Bell, not Art Bell, Fred Bell worked for the government. He worked on a HARP system. He worked with alien races. He went with Billy Meyer out there and was on the Pleiadian ships. He created devices that he sells right now. He's dead, but his family sells. I'm going to show you one. All right. Say something, Tina. Let me just go get it. All right.
While you're doing that, I'm going to talk about the Geiger counter. So we're at that part of the show, guys. We come up to the end. I don't know if anybody else has one or get one. You can come on the show with us. So I wasn't feeling too well, and I had other symptoms. And Tommy recognised them as radiation poisoning. And Tommy asked me to buy a Geiger counter. Well, he's back with his. Tommy's now back with his. Show us what you got then, Tommy.
All right. Now, it took me years to create this. I'm going to put it up. Where's the camera?
You showed me that before, yeah.
Right. But right on the top, in the center right there is a nuclear reactor. All right, that was created by Fred Bell working with Pleiadians. All right, inside this device is just about everything known to man. Claws, eagles, feathers, hair from just about every creature, ash from 100 sacred fires, you name it. It has everything inside it. Plus, this pyramid, this meteorite is one of the oldest meteorites on the planet.
Wow.
And it is powerful because if I let somebody touch that or touch them with it, they'll freak out or they'll be zapped out of their body and you name it. All right. I don't let anybody touch this. I mean, I keep it pretty. I was going to do healing work, but I decided not to go to that realm. Go ahead, Tina, what you were going to say.
Oh, so I just spotted a thing about crop circles. Yes, crop circles were and are still a huge thing here in the UK, not just a few years back. I live in a place called Hampshire in southern England and not far from Wiltshire, where the Stonehenge is. And from between us and where Stonehenge is a direct line, which isn't fast, probably about an hour up the road, 40 minutes, if that. And there are many crop circles, literally stone's throw from where I live, between where I live and all around the countryside and farmland in Hampshire. There are many crop circles. You can look at. There's a crop circle website and a Facebook page. If you have a look. But talk about that. There's a reason why I got my Geiger counter out. As I was starting to explain a few years ago, I wasn't very well, and Tommy said that I had symptoms of radiation poisoning. I thought he was joking. So he told me to go and purchase a Geiger counter. So kind of heard of him, not quite sure what they did. So I got one on Amazon, and this is it. Tommy has the exact same one. There it all is. There's the information, and I paid less than about 20 English pounds for it. That's it there. Sorry, good for that. To turn it on, just push that button there. And at the top there, you will see volts per meter, which is there at the top there, volts per meter, and micro Teslas just there. So that's a electrical magnetic field, and micro Teslas is for radiation. So mine doesn't go off when it's here. I've taken it into a crop circle and had tremendous readings off of it. Now, Tommy doesn't have a smart screen TV or computer. I do. So it doesn't give off radiation or electrical magnetic signals. You'll see Tommy's going up, the top one, because his computer is giving off electrical magnetic field, which is what lots of like goods do around the house. Now, mine doesn't do that. Now, when I put it to me, so I'm a human body, remember, sometimes it doesn't go and other times it just beeps off the scale like mad. I lost my pet recently this year, and the last blood test they had on him said that his platelets contained damage from radiation. So here we go. So we'll start from the neck and work my way up. So you can also see there on the side of my head, on the bottom, micro Teslas. I have 21. So that's not, that's quite low, but human beings aren't supposed to emit radiation. So further back I go, up and down my head and neck, I admit it. Sometimes it's beeping off the scale, which is never a good thing. So I'm just trying, the light is terrible in my house, and I'm just trying to get you to the reading.
Is it on your arms and everywhere else already?
So I've got, it's just 0.5 down to my armpit, 0.5, but here.
She goes up and down, some high numbers, some low numbers, but it's not normal. It's not possible by scientists.
It's 24, 30, 13, 7 on my arm there. It's gone down to...
See, that's not a normal thing that happens on planet Earth.
And then, it's 11 there, 15, 16 on my armpit. I don't know if it's because of everything on there, and I'll take it up that side probably.
But Tina, my partner has a pacemaker put in her on her chest now, on her heart, right? Yeah. So she can't go near a lot of things. Do you know what a Bohr?
Sorry?
A Bohr stereo is?
No.
It's, I don't know if you can see it. No, I put it down on the lower shelf. It's a stereo that's only about this big, but it's super high quality sound. Well,
sound frequency, yeah.
But I took this next to it, and it produces radioactive material. out of all the things in my house next to the microwave, this produces a high amount of radioactive material. And she had it right near the bed because the hospital called her up and said she touched something that interfered with her pacemaker. Now, I have to watch everything that has magnets in it or any kind of magnetic fields. So I took this on a ride to town. And the school, 3 blocks around the school is radioactive. Then I found out they buried bombs underneath there. Then I took it into town and measured everywhere. The new tower that they put up is not radioactive, or this Geiger counter can't pick it up. The old tower, I can. And Boss, B-O-S-S, Boss, not Bosch. But here's the thing. We are dealing with high levels of it now. Here in Hawaii. I don't know how it is anywhere else. I know I lived in Jersey. In Jersey City, they had this giant mountain. And when people went to work in Walmart, they had to sign a paper that they can't hold them responsible for radioactive poisoning. They knew it. And that was many years ago. I don't even know what happened now. But I'm just saying, these people know what they're doing. I'm talking about government people, the people that play with radiation. All the ships going up have radiation in it. All these satellites are controlled and run on radiation. Where are they getting it? How are they making it? What are they? Now, CERN is the highest intensity of radiation, but it is now that's the only thing that I could relate to because it's only active when the machine is on. When they shut the machine off, there is no radiation. All right. So, I mean, my brother's a chemist, and I had him try to explain that to me. I said, but that's why they have the freezer coil around it, because if it ever broke open, it would destroy a city. I mean, the radiation is so high. The magnetic field is stronger than the field of the planet Earth. So, I mean, there's just things we're playing with that we shouldn't be.
There's also things that have been here on the Earth before that's exploded, like Mahara Dendro and the radiation and weapon signature there in the desert. That's very real. What goes around comes around. But before I go, guys, just want to answer the question: what is love? Well, to me, love is probably a biological connection, of course, through pheromones, hormones, and impulses. But there you go, Tommy. First of all, I'd like to say thank you. Sorry, it's been a few weeks, and happy birthday. And hope my card and Christmas card find you very well. Secondly, I'd like to apologise to all of our viewers for not being on recent upsets, and tonight's broadcast must be horrendous due to the interference and connections in the UK. Again, whether that's due to the storms passing through or the sun's funny 5 minutes, I don't know. All I'm going to do is apologise. And it's great to see so many people coming onto the show and into the chat room. Guys, sorry it's not longer. Hopefully we can squeeze next week in, which will be the 21st of December. But me and Tommy discussed that, and hopefully I will see you all next week. If we don't, I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to those who don't come back on the show. If you'd like to ask a question or get other people to come in if you'd like some of us to interview anybody or any more news, let us know. I'm just going to read that last comment. But for me here in Southampton in the UK, it's going to be a good night. And thank you, everybody, for watching and coming on to our show. Thank you for my co-host, Tommy. And let me just read that last little note before I leave. Yeah, I'd love to actually. I was thinking about going to a Hawaiian meeting, Tommy, before the COVID and all the volcanoes.
If this ever gets straightened out, I'd like to have a UFO conference here, a real one with real people.
I'd gladly come over and talk to you, Tommy.
Real information, something beneficial to people, not just storytelling and taking their money. All right, Tina. Look, it was always a pleasure. Last week, there's so much going on where I'm at with my partner. She died 3 times in one day.
Yeah, it's a lot.
And she was lucky. They all told her she's lucky to be alive. And I'm super lucky that she is. So, no, Tina, it's a pleasure. Till next time.
Thank you, Tommy. And thank you, guys. Thank you to all our viewers. Merry Christmas to everybody. Bye-bye.
That was Tina Bird. Her book's going to be out, and it's going to be an incredible book for people that want to understand where she's really coming from. She was supposed to go through hypnosis, and they had to cancel it. I hope they can get that done, because I wish I could be with her, because I don't feel that she's going to be protected if she does. I've been in hypnosis since I was 12. So when these people get involved with hypnosis and hypnotizing people, they claim so many things, like you can't hypnotize people not to do what they don't want to do and all that. It's all lies. I don't think people out there know what truth is at any level, or want to talk about truth at any level. They like programs, they like programmed stories, they like things that feel good, which are, as you know, mankind lives by feelings. Man's ruled by his 5 emotions, 5 senses of his body, which are what keep them here from moving on spiritually or in their soul body. Yeah, I don't talk about spiritual stuff too much, because Tina feels, and I don't blame her, she was never protected by government or by God. So where's her trust? Where's her faith? You know, people that say they trust, they faith in God, faith in Jesus, faith in whatever, Buddha, Muhammad, whatever it is, what's really protected? Soul is only protected by what you do, meaning the karma you create. All right. And that's going to cause you reincarnating many, many times, until you finally realize you cannot accept the truth that's laid out on planet Earth. It's all lies. Aliens came here and gave us nothing but lies, destroyed what was beautiful, meaning Atlantis. I mean, we live in a nightmare. And sadly, everybody uses the word love. Love is not the answer for much of anything. All right. I do my talks on Jesus on my own show, on my workshop. I get into the truth about that, which very few souls have any clue why Jesus was here, what he was really teaching. Now, I'll tell you this. I only found this out yesterday. I'm aware of all my past lives back to and past Atlantis. I was alive when Jesus was alive. I was a female in that lifetime. Mary Magdalene was my closest friend. So I got to be with Jesus the last days of his life as well. All right. I heard what he taught. I was there learning what he taught. I'm not going to go into why I'm here now and all that. But the thing is, I just found out they do have Mary Magdalene's skull in a temple. And it's in this giant, beautiful, outrageous looking thing. And they actually admitted, I watched the show yesterday, and they said it is considered the most powerful skull saint on the planet. They said they even believe that if they used the skull, they could bring somebody back from the dead. People go there, they fall on their knees, they get healed, they have all kinds of visions. Well, I didn't know that it was like that. I mean, I'm kind of old to try to think about going to France. If I was younger, I would go, just to be there and see what kind of power it has left after. She was the most powerful woman on this planet, people, whether you know that or not. She had Jesus's abilities 100%. She had to teach the disciples what he was trying to teach them. If she didn't, a lot of the disciples would have never saw Jesus again. I'm just telling you the facts, people. Jesus had a daughter as well. Mary Magdalene had to leave the country and protect her as I didn't get to learn much about the daughter, or I don't know the end story of Mary Magdalene because I wasn't with her. But when she was living where I was with her all the time. When Jesus came there, I know what he was teaching. It's not the bull story that you hear. Man didn't understand anything in those time frames. They didn't know what God was. They did not know what love was at any level. Women were always slaves, always, and basically still are. So the whole history of mankind is twisted. And then you got alien people and alien races and alien speakers all putting stupid twists and putting this horrible story together and make us believe the Anunnaki. And people believe that, people. And now what I'm telling you about Caroline Corey, pull up her videos, watch what she's preaching and telling and saying. What she thinks is incredible. We all become part of the oneness. That's not oneness of God. God isn't one with rapists, murderers, killers, and every other word that you want to put in there. Losers, sick, diseased people. That's all part of hell. The worlds of God do not carry any of that, people. When you get away from this realm, which you might not, and if you don't look forward, try to create a different reality for yourself, you will not. If you're stuck in this reality, you believe this reality, you're not going to leave it. If you believe love here and your relationship is the most important thing ever, guess what? You were married how many times? Had many families. Do you care about any of them? So when you die, what makes you think you're going to care about this family? And if you came back, you wouldn't be the same age or the same anything. People, you need to wake up, but that's going to be the hardest step because spiritual growth is the hardest thing to attain on this planet or in this realm. Awareness, I'm aware, everybody's aware of what? God, spirit, death, life, or other people's awareness. When people say they have their own truth means nothing, means they don't have anything. All these people that talk about even near-death experiences do not get the experience they need from it. Sure, people that get abducted, a lot of people that do, I'm twisted here, people that do, all right, suddenly become spiritual in their own mind and say they are. They write books about being spiritual and they're doing healing work and they're doing this. Nobody's a healer, not on this planet. I'm not going to get into that, not here on this show. If anybody's interested in truth, life, birth, love, death, reincarnation, angels, and God, I'm doing a workshop, and I'm up to, I did 7 yesterday. All right, I was going to charge, which I decided not to. I opened it for donations. All right, I'm not doing it for money. I'm doing it for the few souls, which is what you are, that want to move on. Not to reincarnate, not to come back here, not to believe that this world's important, not that you're going to save anybody on this planet. I mean, you take, I study many religions. I don't accept any of them now. But Buddha said he'll reincarnate until the last soul leaves this planet. You know what that means? He'll be here forever. There's going to be one last soul that says, I like it here. I mean, millions of people say that now. Billions of people saying it right now. So to get all these people to switch and say, I want to get out of hell, I want to move forward, I want to move on. The races that are attacking Tina and using her aren't spiritual beings. There's all spiritual laws that spiritual beings have to live by, all right, which most people do not. So I'm leaving it this for you. You can be ready for the truth, all right, but you have to be willing to follow and do what you have to do to find it. So I want the truth. Not doing anything is not going to bring it to you. Listening to other people. You can listen to people about techniques and stuff. You only need one technique, not 100, not 1,000. One technique that could put you in a state where you can leave your body. Not remote viewing, not astral projection. Astral projection, you can only project in your astral body, which means you can't go past the astral plane. And on top of that, there's a word called the silver cord. It attaches all souls to this physical and the astral plane. And if you're aware of that, you're going to be stuck between these two realms. I studied with a medicine woman 26 years. I used to debate her on and off for a couple of years, and I gave up. She wasn't ready to find the truth. If you cut your silver cord, you're dead. You'll never... you're dead here. You cut yourself a cord, you're free. But you just can't cut it. You have to know how to cut it, and you have to be shown how to cut it. So it's not like, well, I'm going to go cut it and then I'll be free, because you don't know where you would go if you cut yourself and you were free. If you went into the astral plane by yourself, you don't know where you're going, what you're doing. So once you learn how to leave your body, the next thing is to find your spiritual guides. Guides, whatever you want to call them, angels, whatever word fits you, how to move around there, not here. You've been here too many times. You don't need any more of this. You're not learning anything new. Technology is new per se, but it has nothing to do with your spiritual self or your soul or what you are. I'm not talking about the energy of the lower realm, which is the physical realm, because the government and everybody else is playing with that energy right now. All right. I don't want to go into that because that's so negative, so bad. And I just don't want to say bad. I want to say the truth. The truth is you have to do a lot of work. Are you ready? I've been doing this show for a long time with Tina already. I did a show with TJ Morris for almost 10 years. All right. But she had her truth. And I have a hard time with her truth. Well, everybody has their truth. Well, when you say I work with the Council of Nine, really? The Government Council of Nine, really? It has nothing to do with spiritualism. Look at the world, and you can see where we fit in at a loving or compassionate place. We're not even anywhere close to that. And we're not going to get close to that anytime soon. As a matter of fact, we're going to be pulled and shoved and torn apart in a lot of different ways now. Over the past next 8-9 years. Again, look up UN Agenda 21-30. It's real. If you know anything about Denver Airport, the New World Order, what they say, what they do, what they have to say and do before they do it, it's all real, people. Just because you don't want to believe it, all the underground cities, nobody talks about it. All this stuff is right in front of you, and you don't even want to find out if it's real. Well, I don't believe it. I don't care. Really? If you realize that there's millionaires and billionaires and all kinds of people living underground waiting for the world to get destroyed, what's up with that? And now they want everybody to invest in batteries. Oh, you want to be a millionaire? Invest in batteries. Oh, we can make millions in the next couple of years. You'll be super rich. They said, well, look at this guy. Look at that guy. Money is negative. It pulls negative energy in. You don't have to believe that either. And I'll quote it. And I have to say this quote every time because Jesus said it many times. It's easier for a camel to go through an eye of a needle than a rich person to get into heaven. I sent that to a couple big name people just this past couple days. One of the most important speakers in the United States. Well, most famous anyway, I should say. Not important, but famous. Where do we go from here? Well, if you don't know, I can tell you, but it won't matter because you won't believe it. Well, we're running. I'm kind of done for today. I could go on. I was supposed to do my workshop yesterday, and I got into a whole bunch of stuff that's important, but it wasn't the actual workshop. But if anybody's ready to move on to something a little more real, like called truth, spirit, soul, death, birth, all those real words, where's it go, what's it do, what's the purpose of it, all that you need to know. All right, it has nothing to do with how we live here. All right, people, Hawksblood1AOL.com. Tina and I have been doing this show for a while, and we're open. We allow people to come in if they want to talk, but please come on my show. You have to be talking truth. I will take you off right away if you're not. Sorry, and I have a good way to determine if it's real or not. Tesla had truth, but it was given to him from aliens. All right. Einstein had truth. It was given to him from an alien race. He wasn't given the whole truth. And a lot of the stuff he was given was twisted. Right. Many people have been gone. When you die, you go to the astral plane. You stay there for a short period of time before you come back here. But you forget that, and you forget you were here. So basically, it's a cycle with no awareness. If you remembered every time you went to the astral plane, and you remembered every time you lived, you would not be coming back again. It took me till about 9 years ago to get to the total reason why I came back in the first place. I mean, I was with Jesus, so why would I want to come back to this planet? Really? All right. I didn't even know until rather recently, 9 years ago. Why would I want to come back to this planet? Jesus showed many incredible places and talked about God's worlds and stuff. Why? Well, again, people, the truth is out there. You need to find it, need to tune into it, work with it, adopt what you can, and work on what you don't, and build it to a point where you can learn something from whatever you have. Because every step you take right now is critical and important. If you're not stepping anywhere, you're not going to get anywhere better when you die. You don't become an angel when you die. You don't become superpowered when you die. You're just a soul. All right? An unaware soul. Unaware soul is incredible. And it can move forward incredibly as long as it stays away from the lowest realm, meaning Earth, and then the astral plane. All right. Till next time, Tommy Hawksblood here. Please tell everybody you know, if you know anybody in the UFO world or the spiritual realm, or say they're spiritual, that want to debate the truth anytime, anywhere, any place, live or offline. I am open. And the problem is, nobody out there, male or female, has any kind of balls. All right? They'll talk a story, but they won't defend it with their life. Everything I tell you, everything I do is my life's on the line, period. I am responsible to God. Whatever I do. I mean, you can live life, but the actual attachment, and if you touch, hurt other people, it becomes the worst nightmare. I'm sorry, John, but hopefully I wanted to get into my show yesterday, and I didn't. Today is Tuesday. Hopefully before the end of the week or on the weekend, one way or another, I'm going to start following through with where I left off. I'm up to page 80. I got 200 pages. So yeah, I got a lot more to go. And I want to get into the steps, the details, and all the little things. And when I do my workshop, I try to tell people to do things. Whether they do it or not is a different story. If you don't, you're not going to benefit by what I'm doing. What's it to take a piece of paper and pencil out and write something down? And if you can't do that, you're going to talk about going into the higher realms and becoming spiritual and all the other things? You can't even balance out planet Earth, and you think you're going to go higher? Well, it doesn't happen that way. So, till next time, peace, love, compassion. Tommy Hawksblood here. Thank you, everybody, for coming in. Please send this link to everybody you know. Tell them I'm live, open for debate anytime they come on my show. I'll come on their show. I don't need people around me. I don't need to be protected by people. I don't need other people to defend me either. All right. You heard it here. Thanks, everybody. Gizzy left me. He went into the other room. But he's my everything on this planet. My partner and him. I'm not a dog lover, I have about, real fast, I have about 25 dogs within 2 blocks of my house. And they all go off in the middle of the night. They all go off in the middle of the day. They all go off all the time. And it's hard. And most of them are pit bulls. So they're loud, barking dogs. All right. And then we got, and if the dogs aren't going off, the roosters are. They go off in the middle of the night. You think roosters, I always thought roosters only crowed at sunrise, but they crow half of the night. They're sexual entities, creatures, whatever. All right. Peace. Yes, chickens with the roosters, of course.